I'm just leaving the baby in the garden, Teresa. It's a nice sunny day. There now, Marianne. There now. Look at you there. Oh.
Hello, Marianne. I'm Anne. I'm your grandmother, not Teresa. That's for you. Goodbye for now.
Fractured. A family, a nation, a dream. November 1921.
Oh, look, here it is now. The bride wore a graceful gown of ivory satin butte draped in front and falling in the new loose pouch at the back, with long pointed train, a knot of orange blossom at the waist, and a horseshoe of orange blossom at the end of the train completed the toilette.
A horseshoe of orange blossom at the end of the train. I can't imagine that.
The veil was of white tulle with wreath of orange blossom.
She likes orange, doesn't she?
It's called coordination, Mary. A commoner like you wouldn't know anything about that.
Commoner, is it? And I suppose you're Minute's answer to Countess Markovich.
No, but I think Eileen Brady must be. Listen to this. The bridesmaid wore a charming frock of mauve georgette made in a design of floating petals with velvet flowers at the waist. Her hat was of black velvet with ostrich plume.
Who paid for all this?
It says here that the reception was held at the Hibernian Hotel by her mother, Mrs. Brady of Greenfield, Maynooth.
She must have been left a fair amount of money when her husband died.
The merry widow. I'd be fairly merry if that happened to me.
Don't say things like that.
If Donica went and died and left me a load of money, I'd be delighted. Jesus, if he just went and died, I'd be delighted.
You don't mean that.
I do so. And I hope it's painful.
No.
I have these daydreams where he goes off at some woman and she happens to be the girlfriend of a volunteer or something. So he gets shot through the head.
Will you stop?
And the blood's pouring out of him and he's roaring in pain.
Oh, for God's sake, Cissy.
And then he's sorry. Sorry for hiding our relationship, pretending I didn't exist.
But you shut up.
But it's too bloody late. And he bleeds to death in the street. No precious mammy to
Shut
come...
up! Shut up! Shut up!
What? Mary, I'm so sorry. I forgot he's your cousin, isn't he?
No, it's...
I know he's not your real cousin, but still, that was really mean of me.
I'm not talking about...
Don't pay any heed to me. I'm just bitter. I'm never going to be completing my toilette with a horseshoe of orange blossom. A horseshoe of baby shit, maybe.
Neither will I.
Of course you will. You and your secret boyfriend, a Storm McCree.
Just stop. I can't.
Mary, what's the matter?
He's gone.
The bastard. You're better off without him, you know that.
No, he's not.
Did he go off with someone else? Honestly, they're all the same.
He didn't go off with anyone else.
Yeah, that's what he's told you. Donica did that too. He even...
He's dead.
Dead?
Shot in the head. He bled to death in the street.
Oh, Jesus. Me and Ma... I'm so sorry. How? When did...
In February. Do you remember that volunteer ambush?
Was that the one where the RIC man was killed? I don't remember anyone else getting killed, though.
No.
RIC?
You're shocked.
I'm hardly one to pass judgment.
I loved him. He loved me.
I can see why you kept it a secret.
We were going to get married.
You were taking your life into your hands.
Oh, but Cissy, he was so kind and so sweet. He just wanted to help people, and if you only knew him. He was brave and strong and funny and handsome. It's so unfair.
You've been going through this all alone.
Tomas knows.
Tomas knew about it.
You know Tomas. He picks up on these things. For a while there, I was so mad I thought he was the one that pulled the trigger.
Mary.
I know.
Tomas would never do anything like that. He's so kind.
I needed someone to blame.
Poor Tomas.
It wasn't fair. Tomas would never do anything like that. He reminds me of my Joseph, actually.
That was his name.
Joseph. Joseph Hughes.
Mary Hughes. It suits you.
I have daydreams too, you know. Whatever bastard it was that killed my Joseph gets shot himself.
If I'd known,
But you didn't.
I wouldn't have burdened you so much with my own problems.
It's okay.
You've been so good to me, Mary. I don't know what I would have done without you these past months. Standing up for me in the pub that day and then...
You're my friend.
I would have listened. That's all I'm saying. I would have tried to help you. Come here. You poor thing.
Fucking shit.
I've cut my finger. A recent study says that swear words are supposed to lessen the pain of an injury. It does not seem to have worked.
Teresa, what happened?
Oh, the saw slipped. Foolish of me.
Here, let me wash that out. Come over to the sink and I'll pour water on it. It doesn't look too bad. I wouldn't say it's very deep.
Oh, it's a superficial wound only. However, it's important to keep it clean lest any infection be allowed to fester.
I don't want you to injure yourself on my account, Teresa. You're working too hard.
What are you working on?
She's building a crib for Mary Ann.
A crib? Do you know how to build a crib, Teresa?
Of course not. Nobody knows how to do anything until they've attempted it for the first time.
Oh, right.
It's going quite well. The dados have all been cut at this point, but I've never worked on a blind dovetail joint before and it's proving problematic.
If anyone can do it, you can, Teresa. Mary Ann is a very lucky little girl.
Well, she can hardly sleep in her pram for the rest of her life, can she? Aside from anything else, it can increase the incidence of accidental smothering.
She's a little dote.
She is, isn't she? You could see her when she smiles, her whole face lights up.
Your face lights up just talking about her.
She reserves her best smiles for Teresa, though. Just hold steady there, Teresa.
An instinctive reaction, brought about by an innate desire by the vulnerable to be accepted into the tribe.
There you go. All sorted. Will I make you a cup of tea for the shock?
You can heat the water. Call me when it's boiled. I'll make another attempt on the blind dovetail joint.
All right. Be careful.
She's building you a crib.
She's amazing.
You've fallen on your feet.
I'll have to move on eventually, though. I can't expect her to put us up forever.
Your aunt in Dublin?
She never wanted me.
She took you in.
Didn't have much choice when I turned up on her doorstep in labour.
Was it awful?
Horrible. And she and my uncle wanted to take her off me. Said it was better for the baby, that it was selfish of me to deprive her of a proper family.
You are her family.
I am. When I arrived in your place that night, the night of the truce party, I didn't have anywhere to go. Mammy and Daddy wouldn't answer the door to me.
My mammy wasn't much better. I was really cross with her for not letting you in.
She has your Auntie Anne to think about.
Auntie Anne can mind herself.
You were so brave to stand up to them, Mary. I'm so glad you're still talking to me.
Ah, for goodness sake. Why wouldn't I be talking to you?
No one else is. It's like I've got TB or something. People cross the road to avoid me. A young lad spat at me yesterday.
The brat.
Lily from work ignored me in the post office last week.
Lily?
She was standing in the queue behind me, couldn't miss me. I said hello and she just turned her back
Can't believe that.
Just as well I got the sack, I suppose.
Oh, Cissy. How are you managing for money?
It's really strange, actually. I keep finding money in odd places.
What?
There was a £5 note in Mary Ann's pram the other day. I've never seen one in my life before. £5.
That's more than 2 months'
I
wages.
couldn't believe it.
Well, somebody must have lost it.
And last Friday, I went out to take in the clothes, and there was £2 stuffed in my blouse pocket.
How would that happen?
I think someone's giving it to me.
Who, though?
My mammy. I keep thinking that maybe she wants to help me, but my daddy won't let her.
Would she have £5?
I wouldn't have thought. But maybe she saved it. I did try to thank her yesterday, and she said she didn't know what I was talking about and to leave her alone.
Could it be Teresa, do you think?
I don't think so. If Teresa wanted to give me money, she'd just give it to me.
Auntie Anne?
You say the funniest things, Mary.
Fucking shit and bastard. Oh, I've hurt my other hand now.
Teresa.
Oh, my grip on the hammer must have been faulty. It slipped from my grasp and landed on my wrist.
Sit down there now and I'll have a look at it. Mary, will you make the tea? Plenty of sugar for Teresa.
Will do. Where's the sugar?
In the press under the sink, behind the strawberry jam. An excess of sugar has been proven to have negative effects on the digestive and olfactory systems, you know.
Taking a hammer to your hand isn't too good for them either.
What?
You laughed.
I've never seen you laugh before, Teresa.
Haven't you? Well, perhaps you've never been funny enough.
I'll have to try harder, so.
Here's your tea. Take a good sip for the shock. How's that hand looking, Cissy?
I think it's okay, just bruised. We might need something for the pain, though.
I'll get something from the pub. Mammy has loads from all when she gets her headaches.
Are you sure? Will I go with you?
Not at all. I'll be back in a jiffy.
Just be careful. Don't go through the wood. After what happened to Mossy Kinsella, I'd be nervous for you.
Yeah. Grouch and all as he was, I do miss him from the pub a little bit. Poor Mossy.
I liked Mossy. He said what he thought.
That he did. I'll be back in 10 minutes.
Mary Ann is due a feed in 13 minutes.
I hope you're not going to be too badly bruised.
As long as it doesn't affect my mobility. I would like to have the crib ready for tomorrow evening.
I don't know what I would have done without you, Teresa.
You would probably have had to give up Mary Ann for adoption.
Yeah.
And you might have had nowhere to live.
Yeah?
So you would have gone into one of those mother and baby homes.
Right.
That probably would not have been a very pleasant experience for you. You would have had to...
Thank you, Teresa.
Pardon?
Thank you. What I meant to say was thank you. You've been so kind to me and Mary Ann. I can never repay you for your goodness, but I will always be grateful.
You're welcome.
I was talking to Father Dempsey the other day.
Yes?
I wanted to have Mary Ann baptised. I didn't know if he could do it or not, what with her being, well... He said he'd do it privately.
Excellent idea.
Just me and the godparents.
Yes.
I was wondering, do you think you might be able to come along?
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh.
Well, Father Dempsey said it should be just you and the godparents. You should do as he says.
But, Teresa, that's what I meant. I was hoping you'd be her godmother.
Me?
I can't think of anyone better than you. You're so strong and capable. You're kind. You're generous. You can teach her so much.
A godmother?
She's a hard road ahead. And that's my fault, but with someone like you in her life, it'll be much easier. Please.
I've never been a godmother before. I don't know what to do.
Nobody knows how to do anything until they've attempted it for the first time. Isn't that right?
Perhaps Father Dempsey has a book on the subject.
Is that a yes?
Yes. Thank you, Cissy.
Thank you, Teresa.
Fractured is a Down at Heel production. All episodes were written by Joe Bergen, Brendan Farrell, Claire Joyce and Martina Riley. Sound engineer is Brendan Farrell. Fractured is supported by Kildare County Council through a bursary from Creative Ireland. It is also supported by the County Kildare Decade of Commemorations programme and the Department of Tourism, Culture, Arts, Gaeltacht, Sport and Media under the Decade of Centenaries 2012 to 2023 initiative.